Hi, everyone. Welcome back to It's a Win-Win Podcast. My name is Sophie Win.
My name is Tommy Win. What's up, everyone?
We are so glad that you are tuning in today. And let's just dive right in. Tommy, what are we talking about today?
Yeah, we're talking about living life without the what ifs. And what does that mean? What if I did this? What if I did that? What if I didn't do this? Or what if I tried a little bit harder? What would happen? What ifs? And living life without the what ifs, what that means is we can't live life and not make certain decisions because we're scared of the what ifs, that we're fearful of the what ifs. And like Sophie said, let's dive right on in. And I want to take you to a moment in my life where it was a very small decision that landed me here today where I'm at sitting right now. And when I think about it, it's a crazy thing to think about because it was such a quick and small decision, but it's transformed my life in so many ways that I could have never imagined. So let's get right to it. Let's go back to 2015. That was about 5 years ago, coming on 6 years. I was in college at Purdue University in Indiana, and it was either my last semester or it was my last semester. I went for a bachelor's in construction management. And I remember being in my apartment, and I had my entrepreneurship class coming up in a few hours, and I had a presentation that day with my group. And so I was preparing for that, but also the same exact day I had a career fair. It was the last career fair I would ever attend as a college student. Mm-hmm. And before I thought about going to it, I was kind of back and forth, throughout the week because I knew it was already coming up. And I was thinking, should I just not go to the career fair? Because I already had a job lined up, right? Right when I graduated, I would have had a job ready to go. Like the offer was already on the table. They were waiting for me to make the decision on the offer letter to say, yes, I'll accept your offer and come work for your company.
That was in Illinois, right?
It was in Illinois, so it was in Chicago. I had a job offer in Chicago, and I could have easily said, you know what, forget the career fair. I don't need to go because I already have this job lined up, ready to go. But then I thought about it a little bit more. I'm like, man, this is an opportunity to go to the career fair. So I decided, hey, you know what? I feel pretty good about my entrepreneurship presentation. I'm going to go ahead and just go to the career fair. It was right before my class started. So I would have a little bit of time to go, and really what I wanted to do was talk to other companies just to get my name out there and, see what else is out there. So I talked to maybe 20 companies, and I ended up meeting this one company, and I talked to this manager, and she was actually the manager of what I was studying, what I was specializing in my major. So I majored in construction management, but my specialty was in something called BIM, and it's BIM, so Building Information Modeling, and it's essentially virtual models that you use to coordinate to help with building a building, right? So we coordinate everything, on the computer, and then we go out there and actually build it to what it shows in the models. So that was really cool. It was kind of weird because usually when you go to career fairs, you're meeting recruiters, people who are looking at your resumes. Okay, you qualify, all right, you get put in one pile. If you don't qualify, you get put in another pile. Anyways, I met with this BIM manager, and we just kind of hit it off like right away. And it was just some kind of connection there. And, within a week, she called me, and she was like, hey, we would love to interview you and fly you out and, give you an on-site interview. And so I got to skip the campus interviews, which was awesome. And then, so I went and did the interview. And then a few weeks later, I would say not even, what do you think, maybe like a month, I get another call, and like this is getting nearer and nearer to like me graduating. And then the other company is still waiting on my decision. And I told them, hey, I just need a little bit more time. And then I got the call, and she's like, hey, would you like to go to California? We got a project out there. And so that's how I made it to California, made it here today in the Bay Area, and it was to work on the Apple Park project. If you guys know about the Apple Park project, it's that big circular building. Some people call it the spaceship. And I was like, yeah. I didn't say yes right away. So Sophie was actually there at the time, right? And after I got off the phone, I told him like, hey, I just got an offer to go to California. I just remember Sophie, like, she like smiled, but then she got really teary eyed because it was a big moment. It was scary.
Yeah.
And now I stumbled upon another what if moment. It's like, what if I took the offer for this job and go to Chicago? Or what if I did take this job and move to California? That's across the country. And we have no family out here.
Right.
It's just me and her. And all of our families back in Indiana, most of them, I would say. You know, we have
Some
few
in Texas. Shout out to them.
We have Texas, yeah, for sure. And so it was a big decision. It was either go to Chicago, stay close to family, which would be about a 2-hour drive from where our families lived back in Indiana.
And we love Chicago.
And yeah, we love Chicago. It's my favorite city. And so I had to make that decision again, and we thought about it, and I talked with Sophie about it. And I'm like, man, I really want to do it. I remember growing up, I'm like, I'm gonna move to California. Like that was my dream, and now it's in my hands to pursue my dreams. And
But then you had a lot of what ifs, I'm sure, right?
Oh, I had so many what ifs, and it wasn't an easy decision because I had family too who honestly didn't want me to go. They didn't want me to move so far, and they were worried about like, you know, what if this happens? You're so far away. Like, we can't just drive to you.
Earthquakes.
Yeah, like earthquakes. Like, you know, a lot of what ifs. And I'm like, man, I can't live my life being fearful of the what ifs.
Which is what inspired this podcast.
Which exactly what inspired this podcast. So I was like, let's go for it. Let's do it. Let's see what happens. So I changed that what if to a let's see what happens. And I'm here today, living in the Bay Area, living in Silicon Valley, and
4 years? Wait.
For 4.5 years, coming on 5 years in February. And
so I want to stop you right there too, or pause. So you have this what if moment of like, what if I go to the career fair and be late to my entrepreneurship presentation, which I was in that class with him, and he was basically right on time. He was late to the class, but on time to the presentation. And so that was a what if, right? Because, I mean, you don't want to be late to your presentation. You're about to graduate. And if you have bad grades, there's a chance you might not get your diploma. Who knows? There's like so many what ifs on that, right?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think about it to that extent, but I did think about like, man, what if I'm late to this class? Because I had a presentation. So I had my team, my group relying on me to be there. And I remember coming in, like I was in like, I was like in a nice suit because of the career fair.
And it's a far walk.
I took off, and it was a far walk from where the career fair was. The career fair was inside the rec center, the gym. Damn. And I had to walk all the way to the other side of the campus, essentially. And I remember walking in, like I was all sweaty because I was walking. I had to quickly walk. Took off my backpack and took off my blazer and just threw it on the table.
And presented.
But I remember it was like perfect timing because my team, they were introducing themselves. The guy was like, oh yeah, my name is Jacob. My name is John. And I'm like, hey everyone, my name is Tommy. And then we went right when I got up in front, it was like my turn to say my name. And I think my team was surprised, like, oh, he's actually here. Like they didn't see me come in because it was like the timing was just like right on.
Yeah, so that was a what if. What if I am late to class? Whatever was going through your head. And then, you know, what if I just try to go to a career fair and see what other opportunities there are?
Oh, yeah.
And those aren't really negative what ifs, because I know some people do struggle with, you know, what if I can't pay my bills if I move across the country? That's kind of how my what ifs were. And there's just, I don't know, how did that not weigh you down to like go for another job? And what if moving to California, weren't there some fears in that?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was not easy. It took some time. I had to think about a lot of the things, but just going back to that day of those what ifs, those were like the small decisions I made that got me to where I'm at today. It got me to live the life that I wanted to live today. And those are minor what ifs, and sometimes it doesn't take that much thought, but the impact that that small what if creates, that small decision you make creates long lasting impact. Because of that one decision, of all the things that has happened in my life so far to this moment, and it's been transformative for me. So even like the small decisions, like there is lasting impact from it. Changing that what if to let's see what happens mindset. Because the thing is, I thought about it. If I moved out to California, it didn't work out, I can always move back, right? So it didn't really scare me that much because it's almost like a backup plan. It's just like, what's the worst can happen? I move out here. It doesn't work out. I move back. Big deal.
Yeah, I think people hold themselves, they think about these situations that they can put themselves in, and it's almost like they think about, it's like the last decision they're ever going to make. And I think that's also what inspired us to talk about this, because there's so many people that we meet that are like, it's too late to like try another career. It's too late to like move to the city of my dreams. And I think it's not that they're excuses. I think it's fear. So I think a takeaway for me from hearing that story is that why not change your what ifs to what would happen? What if I tried this? Wait, no, you said what ifs to what?
Changing the, instead of asking yourself the question, what if this, change it to let's see what happens.
Okay, so let's see what happens, because I feel like I can think of people in my life that want to like move to their dream city, or they've lived in the same place all their life, and they're always like, oh man, one day I really want to live like in Texas or something, or I want to move to New York, but it's too late for me. I just can't. And we want to inspire those people, and maybe you're one of them listening, that let's shift that narrative and try and see what happens. I think for Tommy and I, there's so much of our lives that we change that narrative, because it's like, if we never started a podcast before we died, I think we would live in that sense of like, man, what if we just did it one day? Instead, we were like, let's see what happens. Let's start a podcast. And so far, we've received great feedback, and we're so thankful for you guys just listening and sharing your thoughts. It really does mean the world. And so even that small decision of like, maybe we start a podcast, maybe we start a YouTube channel. Let's see what happens if we start a business. You guys, the what ifs that ran through my mind in starting Soul Gold, I was making no money when I started this business. When I graduated college, all my friends were going to work at these amazing companies, and I had an offer lined up to do what I thought was my dream job in Indianapolis. And I was probably like in the third or fourth round of my interviews, and I was like, I'm moving to California. And they were really sad, and I ended up giving the job. I didn't give it myself, but I recommended my friend to take the job, and now he's been working there since we graduated, and I absolutely adore him and love him, and quite frankly I think he was a better candidate than me anyway. So I had a lot of people questioning me on like, oh, you're moving to California for a boy, which was so rude and like really heartbreaking, because I'm like, no, we are actually in a serious relationship, and I have an opportunity to start a new life. Instead of being like, what if Tommy and I break up? I was like, let's see what happens. And now we're married, and he's in the business with me. So I think a lot of people can speak into your life and cast their what ifs on you because of their own internal fears or insecurities. And
exactly.
I think it's so, that needs to just don't take that stuff onto your plate, because it will stop you from thinking about what could happen if I did this.
Yeah, I would say dig into that a little bit more, because you also had that decision, right? So we were dating, and we were dating in college, and I was making this big move, and I was like, hey, I'm moving to California. Like, let's go do this together. And I remember that day when I got the call and I told you, you were at the apartment at the time.
Yeah, I
think we just got done with class, and I'm like, hey, I just got an offer to California. And I just remember I think you had so many emotions coming in. Like, it was exciting but scary at the same time. You did cry. I remember that. And at first I was like, why are you crying? But I think
felt the same way.
But it was probably like you were probably just excited, but then also scared, right? Because it's a huge move. And for those of you who have moved across the country away from family to a place where you know zero people and have zero family, that's not an easy thing to do.
No.
And let's talk about that a little bit deeper. Like, what helped? Like, what did you go through in order to make that decision? Like, why did you end up saying yes? Because you could have easily said no and stay in your comfort zone, right?
Yeah, and I would have gotten paid way more money than I did when I moved to California. I think, I don't know. I mean, I was super fearful, but I had a lot of confidence in our relationship, and I couldn't see us doing a long distance relationship. I mean, we did long distance when we moved to California from February to May,
For like a semester.
which isn't that bad, really. It wasn't bad at all, but I don't know. I just didn't let the what if scare me. I didn't care. Like if we broke up or something really awful happened, I didn't let those fears and those what ifs like drown me in my thoughts. I didn't let my family really speak into my decision because it's my life. As difficult as that was, I didn't let their what if scare me. And one of the other what ifs was like, what if people think I am moving for a boy? Like, what if people actually think, oh, I'm just going to live off Tommy because I'm starting my business, and only I knew how much money I was making. I mean, a Tommy, but it was really low to survive in California. So I think for me, I just had confidence in our relationship, and I believe that things would work out for the best. And I knew if it didn't, I can go back to Indiana, or I can go get a job in Indianapolis where I was going to work, or whatever. I just knew it was not the end of the road. And so for some people, I do think, I've talked to like family members about this, and they're like, I'm too old. It's like they think it's the end of the road. I'm like, you're 40. Like, you're 40. You're so young still.
Yeah, 40 is so that's you're not even halfway through your life. I mean, you're getting there, but you still have you have the second half of your life. You just finished the first half.
Yeah.
You still got the second half. Gotta keep going as hard as you can in life and not give up because you turn a certain age. There's one thing that always pops in my head. So the CEO or the founder of Grey Goose, of Grey Goose, the vodka.
Oh,
So if you guys drink drinks like vodka or liquor, you heard of Grey Goose. It's kind of a bougie drink. Anyways, Grey Goose, the founder who founded that, he founded it, I believe, at 60 or 70 years old. So you can start a business, you can pursue your dreams, you can do whatever, no matter what age you are. Because the last thing you want to do is live your life full of what ifs. When you're on your deathbed, do you want to think, what if I would have done this? Man,
Yep.
What if I would have done, or what if I spent more time doing this instead of that? And
or what if people think I'm too old to start a business right now? What if people think, you're crazy for moving across the country? It's like, those are all about we're thinking about other people's opinions half the time, and the other time it's like, do you want to regret it on your deathbed? And I would say most people don't.
yeah.
Yeah, so I hope this inspires you guys this week to change the narrative on decisions you're making in your life. Just thinking, what could happen? What if we tried this? What could happen if we just tried it, versus thinking about, what if I fail? What if I don't? And I also want to say, it's not to be irresponsible with making decisions. We deeply think through these things, but when you outweigh the positive and the negatives, it's like, what do you really have to lose? And in some situations, it does not make sense for someone to move across country.
Yeah, I mean, unless you have a plan. I like that you touched on that we don't just make it on a whim and move across the country, right? Like, I had a plan. Like, I'm moving across the country for this reason. I'm not just moving across the country to move across the country. You do want to have a plan and a purpose of why you're doing what you're doing. And it's not like I'm just going to drop everything and do this thing, whatever it is, without having some vision behind it.
Yep. And as you prepare, the better because you will be faced with what ifs from tons of people. Everyone in your life is going to be like, what if this? What if that? What if you guys don't work out? Blah, blah, blah. What if people aren't going to take you seriously because you're 22 years old trying to start a business? Whatever it is. As you prepare, you'll be able to answer those questions with confidence, and you will feel better about yourself. And so everything and the decisions we've made, podcasts, business, getting married, so much, the way that we choose to live our lives, Everything is thought out. And I think when you shift that narrative, like we've been talking about, that helps you think through it and prepare better.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely didn't let the what ifs hold us back. And now we have a story to share, to share our experience about not letting the what ifs hold us back, not letting the fear hold us back, not letting other people's opinions hold us back. And, we're living the life that we're called to live right now in this season.
Yeah.
And I think it's amazing. I wake up grateful every single day that I get to live a life that I feel I am called to
do. And if you feel like you're called to do something, just see what happens and try it instead of worrying about the what ifs, because I think life is too short. And so I hope that this podcast inspires you guys today to try something new. And what is the worst that can happen?
Yeah. And it doesn't stop there, right? We made all these decisions. There's still going to be more what ifs. What if we don't air this episode? What if we didn't talk about this? Or what if we did talk about it, right?
It's just something to think about as you're making big decisions and even small decisions in your life. Flip the script a little bit into more of a positive light. And I think it'll change the experience of when you're supposed to make decisions.
And so thank you everyone for listening, wherever you're listening from, whether that's in the car, at work, or just at home, while you're cleaning, while you're doing schoolwork, doing homework.
And shout out to the YouTube viewers right now. We're also filming this for the first time and going to post it on our YouTube. And shout out to the people listening on podcasts right now. So if you are like a visual person, you can watch this whole thing. I mean, we're just sitting here on our couch, but you get to see our faces and see us talking to each other. So we're trying something new. We hope you guys like it. And honestly, we just want to deliver the best content we can. Make sure you guys share what you guys want to see.
Yeah, and let us know in the comments. So if you're watching on YouTube, let us know in the comments what topics you want us to talk on. And if we've gone through that experience or have a story in that, we'll definitely, we would love to talk about it. And so if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, thank you so much. Make sure to rate us. That really helps us. And subscribe so you can get all the updates. Or all the new episodes that come out. And if you're watching on YouTube, and this is on the Just Living channel, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like. Make sure to subscribe as well so you can stay up to date with all the new episodes coming out. And then if you thought this was helpful for you, comment down below and let us know. It's super encouraging when we get to see comments from people on if they liked it or whether they don't like it. It's helpful both ways. Yes. And we love you guys so much. I hope this helped at least one person listening. Just help them take the next step in their life and leave the what ifs behind and move forward and going into the next step thinking, let's see what happens. We love you guys. This is Tommy Nguyen.
This is Sophie Nguyen.
Peace out.
Bye, guys.